Hey guys, it's Lena from Muggle-born, and today I'm going to talk to you about Cinder by Marissa Meyer, the audiobook. To sum up Cinder in one sentence, it's a futuristic science fiction retelling of Cinderella set in New Beijing. This retelling is definitely a lot more grim than the Disney version. It's not really that sweet and romantic. It's a lot darker. There's disease, manipulation, and caste systems. And of course, there's cyborgs and androids, which makes for an interesting twist. Cinder is a very likable character. In the story, Cinder is clearly the underdog, and you can't help but want her to succeed. Everything bad that will happen to Cinder. Not only is she an orphan, has a horrible stepmother and one horrible stepsister, she's also a cyborg, which makes her on a lower caste system than the rest of the citizens of New Beijing. Basically, how the caste system works, you have humans on top, cyborgs in the middle, and then androids, which are technically just robots with personality chips, at the bottom. As for the love interest, there's lots of raving about Prince Kai on Twitter and the blogosphere, and I just didn't get it for a while. What's the big deal with this Cinder book? And you know what? After reading it, I can tell you why. He's actually swoon-worthy. I could not believe it. What I love most about Prince Kai is the fact that he's not a one-dimensional Prince Charming. He actually cares about his citizens. He'll actually go out of the palace and mingle with his people. He really cares. And not only that, he's a flawed character. Despite the fact that Prince Kai is royalty, he's still affected by limosis, and his dad falls ill. You definitely see him struggle as a main character. Despite the fact that he is the prince and he's going to be emperor one day, things aren't running that great for him. He has a lot of struggles to overcome, and he has to think of his country first before he thinks of himself. Now that I've talked about the love interest, it only makes sense to talk about the romance. Oh my god, Prince Kai and Cinder have tremendous chemistry. At first it starts out as that really awkward first date to where you're like, oh my god, Cinder, I can't believe you just said that. But the romance is so perfectly awkward that sometimes you can't help but giggle. I giggled a lot when I listened to this audiobook. Prince Kai is a very, very charming prince. Only makes sense, right? But he's totally swoon-worthy, and I can see why. He's so popular in the blogosphere. Definitely deserves all that popularity. Can't talk about Cinder by Marissa Meyer without talking about the fantastic world building. Despite the fact that this is a retelling, it really can stand on its own. I didn't want to like it at first because it is so unconventional, but I love it. For me, there was just enough background history to understand the Lunars, understand this New Beijing and how it came to be. But I think there's definitely still more room to develop the world even more in the subsequent books. And lastly, the plot, okay, it's like page 20 and I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna happen. So unfortunately, it's a little bit predictable, but there are some plot twists that I was just like, oh my god, I did not see that coming. Especially towards the last third of the book. I should have seen that one coming. Yeah, when I was listening to the audiobook, I did say, oh my god, out loud. I shouldn't be listening to audiobooks in public. I really enjoyed Marissa Meyer's Cinder audiobook. It's probably one of the best audiobooks I've listened to so far. I know I'm just new to audiobooks, but I'm definitely recommending it to people. If you want to start on a good audiobook, I would say this is a good one. Not only will I read the rest of the series, but I will definitely check out more of the work of this voice actor, because this voice actor can do great impressions, great accents. I actually feel like there's more than one person talking. Cinder is written by Marissa Meyer and narrated by Rebecca Soler. It is out now, so if you enjoyed my audiobook review, go support the author and buy the book.